Hi everyone, this is Tammy at Snowstorm Crafts and welcome. So today I want to show you guys how I make my cute little dolls here. This is my little girl and the little boy. So I want to show you the little girl today because she's got a little bit more to her and then they're both pretty much the same putting them together. So I have a pattern down below if you guys want to come get it and follow along with me. And I also have these two guys for sale down in my uh, links down below in the description box. So let me just show you guys what some stuff that you're going to need and to follow along to this video. Let's start off with, these are my tube turners, and these are great for like turning the little arms and legs and different things like that. And this is my Amazon link. So I have some of this stuff down in my Amazon links. You guys can come check it out. But the tube turners are definitely a game changer for sure. So I got those, and then the hemostats are great for stuffing the little arms and getting up into little crevices and stuff with the polyfill. So those are some things you're going to need. That just helps you. I mean, these really do help to get it up, especially with smaller little dolls and stuff. I got fabric scissors. I'm going to move them to the side as I say it. Uh, Embroidery scissors. Okay. Some clips. These cute little clips help when we're putting the legs and different things like that on. They come in really handy. We got those. Just a fun little wooden button. And I do have buttons down in my Amazon links down in the description box. So if you guys want to come check them out, I have different sizes and all kinds of things. Same with like these. I'll make sure to put these down there. I use these for the eyes too, and I just take it with my Fabrifix glue and the Sweet Sugar Belle icing container with just a little metal tip. I use that to put the eyes on with the Fabrifix glue, and that stuff works great. So I'll try to get those down into the links. Get the little button, and then just a cute little charm to put on top of her bow. That. Some blush or bronzer or anything like that, and just a Q-tip to do their little cheeks. I have just, what is this pen? It's just a rolling ball, extra fine, just any kind of pen to draw the pattern out. So I just use that just to draw the pattern. And then I use the Micron pen, and it's a 05 to do like their mouth and then the eyelashes and these little freckles and stuff like that. So I use the Micron pen for that one. Okay. What else do we need? And then I like to use my little tweezers to help put the eyes and stuff on when I'm gluing them. Those come in handy. Some thread for their nose, to do their little nose. I just use just some white thread. This one's Coats and Clark, whatever you got. Then I have my needles already threaded with my embroidery floss to do like the fun little designs on their dresses and shirt. And then I do a lot of hand stitching on these dolls. So we'll do this machine sewing for their bodies. And I use muslin fabric for the body. So I just use the muslin fabric for that. And then I do the machine sewing for the body. And then we'll go along and do hand stitching to add the hair on and do some fun just little stitching for like the little ponytails here. And then the handwork here, I'll show you how I do. And then on their little feet, how I sew like their little shoes on and stuff. So there will be some hand stitching in this if you want to. And then I have my cutter, just my rotary cutter that comes in handy. I have black, 2 strands, and then just like a kind of a beige color just to do, but you can use any color, and I do 2 strands of each of just embroidery floss. So I have that ready to go. Okay, and then I have for their dresses and shirt, I use like a stiffer felt fabric, and then I use not so stiff of a felt for their hair. So I'll show you, and I will put those down in the link. So this is for the hair, and you can see it comes with all different colors, and you get a good amount of it. Okay, so this is what I use for their hair. And then for the dress and the shirt, I use this, and it's more of a or a stiffer, sorry about the rattling, but it's like a stiffer kind of felt. So those are the colors. So I'll try to put that down below. As you can see, it is a lot stiffer. So I like doing that for their little shirts and dress. And then the hair. So then now for her little leggings, I just have just some fabric here, just cotton fabric, and to give her some little tights. So I think that's all we need. And let's get started here. So as you can see here, I got everything already drawn onto the fabrics here. So what we're going to do is go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to leave about 1.5 inch opening at the bottom of the body here. Do a back stitch, go all the way around with a straight stitch, and then a back stitch here, and just leave an opening at the bottom. Now with the arms, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave an opening at the ends here, and just do a back stitch, go around, and then stop with the back stitch, just to make sure it doesn't come unraveled. So I'm going to do that with that and with the legs. So leave the tops open and do the same thing all the way around. So I'm going to take all these to the sewing machine, and I will show you what I do with those. So I went ahead and did some sewing on the machine here with the body and the arms and the legs. So that's all on the sewing machine. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut everything out with my fabric scissors about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch around everything here, except for everything I drew out here. This is folded in half, so we get double. I'm going to go ahead and cut on the line for all the felt stuff. So just cut right on the line for all the felt things. And then all the stuff on the cotton fabric and the muslin over here, I'm going to do about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch all the way around, just so the stitches won't come undone. So you want to go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and cut everything out. I wanted to say that I doubled up the dress. I doubled up the back of the shoes and the front of the shoes on the felt, and you only need one back of the hair, one front of the hair, and one layer of the little bow on top. Okay, we got all that done, and now what I'm going to do is turn everything. So I'm just going to use my handy little turners here. All the felt to the side because I don't need to turn that. And this is super simple. I'll show you guys. You just put it in. I take the flat end. I don't want to use the pointy part because I don't want to poke through the fabric. So I take the flat end and just push it through. And then you can push it all the way through, just like that. Then I take the pointy end and just lightly push it out without breaking through the seam there. Okay, so I'm going to do that with all of it and get everything flipped around. So I forgot to show you guys. Now, if you're noticing any puckering or anything when you flip the body or the legs, you can always do just a little bit of like snipping around, just a little snip, 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 all the way around. Just be careful not to cut the thread. But what I notice the worst part for me is right around the neck area. So I like to just do little snips here, just along the neck. I just wanted to show you guys that if you're having trouble like with any puckering of the fabrics, and you can do the same with the legs and arms before you flip them. You can do just a little snip around just the circle part right there. I wanted to show you guys that, and I wanted to show you guys I left a little tab at the bottom here just to help when we when I go ahead and sew the legs and stuff on, it just won't have any frayed edges. So I'll show you how easy that is. It's just so easy. Now, there shouldn't be any puckering. And then you can see that I have the tab there. And I like to take it and just tuck it in. So then when the legs are in there, you won't have, any little frayed edges just coming out. It's just nice to have a little tab that you can just tuck up in there to make it just kind of a clean edge too. And I like to tell you guys that my patterns are whimsical. They're all hand drawn by me, and there's no written instructions. I actually just have the videos for you guys to come, and they're in detail, so you guys can follow along exactly how to make each doll, especially all the dolls down below too, along with this one. Um, and I also like to tell you guys that they're not made for really small children, that because the eyes are not safety eyes. So I like to just add that little disclaimer in there too. So when you guys make these, you can either draw the eyes on and maybe don't do a trinket either, or even the little, if you're going to do the bow on top, I would sew it instead of glue it. So just different things like that, like the button, I just glue the button on. So there is some choking hazards on here. That's why I say it's not for like small children. So I like to say that out loud. Okay, so I got all this done. The little arms, legs, body, and everything here. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and we're going to start stuffing everything. So I got the fiberfill and I got my hemostats. And I'm going to go ahead and stuff the body, the legs, and the arms just all the way. So keep in mind, I just lightly stuff because these are just, kind of flat and they're just really fun and just lightly stuffed. Because I also want to make sure, so keep testing it as you stuff the body to see if your little dress or your t-shirt, in this case, fits around and you're able to stitch it. So you know what I mean? So you don't want to stuff it too chubby because it'll be too hard to get the little stitching all the way around it. So just keep that in mind as you're stuffing your doll. And I will be back after it's all stuffed and we'll go from there. So I went ahead and I got everything stuffed and I got all the little pieces here. So we're going to just put everything together. So I got my little clips. Let's go ahead and start with the legs. So you can see I just lightly stuffed it. Doesn't need to be overstuffed. Okay, we're going to add our leg. Flip. Line the legs up so they're at the same length. Our embroidery floss. I'm going to do a stitch all the way across. I'm just making sure to catch the leg along with the body. Our little legs on. Head and work on dress. So if you want to, you could go ahead and just sew your button on if you want to do a button. Now is a good time to sew it on. So you could just do that and then it'll be a lot more secure. Embroidery floss, 2 strands. Next. And you can leave it attached because we'll use the same color strand to attach the dress. So front and the back on, line it up. I'm just going to do a whip stitch right down like I did this one here. Started. And then I'm just going to go over to this side, make sure that it's going to be just fine. Oh, and we can even do a little clip. Keep it in place. On the body here. Oh. Keep this together. I forgot to tell you guys, so before you sew this on and after you sew your button on, you could go ahead and add your little crosses and whatever you want to do at the bottom of your dress. I would definitely, before you add your shirt on for the boy, is go ahead and do the X's in it before you add the shirt and put it on. So just a reminder to do that. But you could do it right now at this step, or with the dress. It's not as bad if you sew both sides and then go ahead and do the bottom. It's not that bad. So either way you want to do it, but I could show you guys real quick here. So what I did is I just did some X's. I'm not sure how good it's going to show up with this color. Maybe I'll go ahead and switch it to a darker color, pink. So let me go find another darker color, just embroidery floss, to have it show up a little bit better. So I like this color better, has a better contrast to it. So I'm just going to go ahead, do some X's. Okay, there we go. So this is just a fun thing to do, you know, watching your favorite TV program or listening to your favorite music or a podcast thing or just whatever, some fun little uh, thing you can sit and just do and do some fun hand stitching, and it helps lower the blood pressure and just kind of just relaxes you. It's kind of a fun little pastime. And you get to make a cute little doll. So now if you want, you could go ahead and do the French knots, or, just leave it as is. That's however you're feeling it. Like here, I went ahead and just did a couple of French knots there. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do the X's. Okay. And there we go. So this is I just want to show you guys, it's probably better just to do it before you, like after you put your button on, go ahead and do your decorative things that you want to do on the front of your dress and then sew it together. And same with the shirt. Just go ahead and, do everything first and then sew them all together. So just a little tip there. So apparently I got excited about putting the dress on too fast. And you guys are probably yelling at me like, Tammy, how are you going to put the arms in? This is when you need to put the arms in, is right now. So you can see that it's slanted. You can cut that part off if you want to, just a little. Okay. And then I got to show you guys. So you have the slant going like that. And you just stick your arms in. Don't forget this part, because you have to undo it all like I just did. So you just stick it in, and then you just continue stitching just like I did here, like that. Make sure to do this part. I'm just going to go ahead and just this through the arm and back through the dress. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and clip this. It'll be a lot easier. So you don't have to hold on to it. I love these little clips. They really do come in handy. So then I'm just going to keep making sure I'm going through the dress plus the arm. I'm going to make sure you're catching the arm. And then just do that all the way down. So after you put your arm in, just keep whip stitching the arm in and go all the way to the bottom of the dress, and then do the same thing on the other side. So I went ahead and got her arms and her dress on. It turned out really cute. So now let's go ahead and do her little shoes. I'm going to take the back part. And if you want to, you could take your just a dab of glue here. Hold it in place. And I would just do it right in the center. You don't want to do it where you're going to sew. Right here. It. So you have here. You see her little feet. How am I gonna do it? But I'm just going to hide the knot. So I'm going to go up through there. And just make sure the knot's in here hidden. Sewing them together. You could do a whip stitch if you want to. And just sew them like this. However you want to get it closed. And looking cute. I probably should have done a darker thread, but and like I showed you on here, it just kind of just, you can see with the dark. And then I did a little, you can do a whip stitch around it. So however you really want to do it is up to you. On our little shoes. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other foot. So I went ahead and did her cute little feet here. And now let's go ahead and add hair in just a second because I want to go ahead and do the nose real quick so we can hide it back behind the hair. So it's just a little nose. I guesstimate where I want it. Up and back through. And I'm just using the embroidery floss here. But you can also use the thread. So however thin you want it and stuff, just however you want to do it. Take it, do a little tug and tie it off. And then I'm going to keep this attached. We go ahead, put the back of our head on. A little bit because we're going to do front of the hair. Head as flat as you can. See if you like where it's lining up. Then you can just take your little clips here. And then I'm just going to stitch it all on. I'm going to do stitching all the way around it. Do a little stitching on the hair. And then just attach it all around. Actually not going through the head or anything right now. I'm just attaching the top part together. And then once we start going here, we'll attach it all to the head and then down through here. But this top part, I just want to make sure that it's on and you don't have the fabric, coming through the top or anything. So you just kind of attach it like this. Now I'm going to start going through the scalp a little bit. Just getting attached. And you could play it by ear and just see how you want to do it. You'll get the feel of it as you start doing this. And there we go. And then I'm just going to through and make sure I'm grabbing a little bit of the head part here and just popping it up like that. And attached. And then I'm just going to continue around. I'll go ahead and attach it up here and then make sure when you sew it back here, you're just going to attach it and sew it down on here and I'll be back. So I'm right at the end of getting the hair all sewn on. I'm going to show you guys. I just do a knot here. And then just hide the tail of the thread, just like that. That. Now, let's go ahead and let's get the eyes glued on. This is when the tweezers come in handy. Place them on there. See where we want them. Okay. Go ahead. Get our glue. Glue. Up. Okay. And then we could do our micron pen. Smile. Smile. There we go. And then you can give her freckles if you want, like I did him. But we could go ahead and do our blush. I just use the bronzer is what I have, and a Q-tip. And just make her little cheeks rosy. Okay. With that. And the last thing I want to do is go ahead and put her little bow on top of her head. I just went ahead and took my Fiberfix glue and glued the little charm onto the bow. And then we could just glue the bow to her head. So I'm just going to go like this where I want it. She turned out really cute. And I wanted to tell you guys something really quick here. For the boy, when I put his shirt on him, I do the same thing as I did the dress, but go ahead and just pop the arms up into the sleeves here, and I just glue them. I just take it and I glue the arms inside the sleeves and then put it together and attach it. So that's how I did the boy. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informational. And if you could please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and you guys can see my next video when I post it. Like, comment, and share, and let's grow together. And keep on crafting.